Hello there, I am Peter Thurston, or Essence of Four. I wanted to do something here that keeps popping up. I know it's been done to death by many other atheists, but I thought one more go at it wouldn't do any harm. What I'm on about is the way that there are many theists out there that keep saying we, as the atheists, have no moral values. Now, I want to go through this on a stage-by-stage thing. Okay, so first off, we have to find out where do morals come from, and then we'll look at how important does religion play in all these factors. Okay, morals come from, at their basis, socialization. Now, please bear with me, it'll take a bit to explain. When we became social creatures, we started gathering, of course, and slowly over time, things called social norms began to crop up. What social norm means is something that's acceptable in society, something that we don't see as a bit too odd or damaging to others. Now, these just developed naturally. You look at any society and the same will occur. They all have developed in this way. So here we have these social norms. Now, in, say, Britain or England, we have clothing is, of course, a good example of social norm. Now, Christians will, of course, say that, oh, we get it from God. But then again, you look at the Bible, and the way it goes is, when Eve and Adam eat the apple, they hide behind a bush, and they start talking about how they are naked, and how it feels bad. Now, if that's so, if every person feels bad about being naked, then why are there tribal groups in Africa that it is the social norm to be absolutely naked? Now we go on to the next step, which is the values. From social norms we get these things called values. Good values will be rewarded because they keep up the social norm. Bad values will often be punished. Now, it varies society to society which is a value which is not. But these values have not derived from some imaginary force in the sky, but just the social norms. And then it's from these values that we get the word moral, because a person takes these values, assesses them, and picks which one are their values to keep, which is their morals. So that's where the morals come from. But where do we learn this basic socialization, and how big a part does religion play in all this? There are 5 factors of socialization. They're called the agents of socialization in British and American societies. First one is family, then you have peers, education, work, and finally religion. Now, not every society has all of these, of course. Like certain religious extremist countries will stop their children going on to further education. They'll stop them having varied peers. It's just all over the place. I mean, there's also certain places where the person doesn't socialise with the family, but like in Israel, they have a kind of creche thing, which the children are ditched off at, and they'll be brought up with them. So, this is just for British and American societies. Okay, the most important out of all 5 is the family. That's called the primary line of socialization because it's the first one that we come across. It's the one that teaches us our language, to wear clothing, it teaches us to say thank you, to say please, to be polite. It teaches all of those things. Now, in our current society, that is followed by the next 2 important ones at about the same rate. Education and peers. They come about the same. I say that because a person is brought up by the family to have certain views, but then when they go to education, those views can change. Which is one of the fears that the Christians in Texas apparently have, because they won't send their children to college, due to the fact that they fear them being converted, supposedly, into non-Christians, because they open their mind. So that's the second ones, well, yeah, you know what I mean, the joint second one. And then of course we have work, which comes after that, and in our modern society, religion plays the smallest part. I mean, would you really see it as socially acceptable to be a paedophile? I wouldn't, but it is in the Bible with Lot and his 2 daughters. That is a social norm in the Bible. It is also a social norm in the Bible to stone a midget for being smaller than you, or to stone a hunchback person just for being irregular, because they are crippled with sin. These are not our social norms, so it cannot come from a Christian God. And we'd have to go through other gods one by one to pick out which ones it could fit and which ones it couldn't. But overall, if you look at it in an open sense, I'd say, you can kind of tell God plays the smallest part in our social norms, our values, and our morals. Thank you for listening. This has been a real pleasure. I hope you enjoyed. It's my first green screen video here, so thank you and goodbye.